What's happening? What's happening, Steeler Nation, man? Welcome to the latest and greatest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel basement, and let's get to it. Let's get right to it. Actually, hold on. I forgot to do one thing. Hold on. I'm going to mute the browser really quick, guys. I forgot to cut on the phone queue. My bad. So I'm going to do that right now. Let me mute the browser so you guys don't hear all the nonsense going on, and I'll kind of talk through it. Give me 2 seconds. Get it up. And that way we can take phone calls. So yeah, I'll just do a little chatter here while I wait for the queue to kick on. My bad. I did so much. I got everything all set up early.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
Y'all probably just heard it because it's in the background. But hold on. All right, it's saying that the show will start in 35 seconds. Let me turn my music down so you guys don't hear it. And I have the browser turned down in my software so you guys don't hear it as well. And then in a moment, I'm going to turn my music back up. But welcome, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Got a lot to cover tonight, man, so I'm going to jump right into it. Of course, we're going to say hello to the early commenters, and I thank all of you all for coming by tonight, man. And I thank y'all for supporting the show last week. Got some pretty decent views last week. I mean, it might sound small to some, but I had over 4,000 views on last week's show, which is very interesting during the off season. Normally, the show doesn't get that much viewership in the off season, so I appreciate you guys doing that. A lot of you guys hitting that like button. Make sure you do that. Sharing the stream, it helps. All right, now I can turn everything back up. All right. So let's say hello to the early commenters. Let's do that. And then we'll get right to the show, man. So first and foremost, let's say hello to Wide Diggy. Hello, Miss Lanisha in the building. Hello, Miss Lady. Appreciate you tuning in. Always appreciate our lovely ladies, the Steeler Nation. Guys, make sure y'all lay out the red carpet for the ladies. Say hello. Do what we do. Crazy Ron Gaming, Jersey Boys 70. Who else? Joshua Shields. Relfax in the building. Kev So Nice in the building. Jack Bauer in the building. Mark Cunningham as well in the building. Who else we got off in here, man? Who else? Jared Devil, No 412. Zuri Rivers, Leon Harris Jr., Brother Kenyon in the building. Who else? Tyrone Johnson. My good brother Tony in the building. What's up, Tony? And we'll end it right about there. Hold on. R2 Malvo in the building as well. What's up? All right, let's jump into it, guys. I got quite a few topics to hit on. Let me get to my notes, but I want to be fast so we can get to the phone queue and we can get out of here. We don't have to spend all night on the show. So, couple things I want to talk about. Of course, you guys see my lead topic in the title. I know some of y'all are probably wondering where I'm going with that. What I'm with myself saying, it could make sense for the Steelers to trade for Justin Fields, and I will talk about that as my final topic. But the first thing we'll dive into, man, let's talk a little bit about the Steelers' next starting center, right? Because I saw a couple articles. Some people are saying that the Steelers will draft a center. I know that the kid, I can't remember his full name, so I'll just call him JPJ, another JPJ, right? Looks like he tested well. I think that was the guy that they showed the clip that kind of threw the Steelers assistant coach to the ground in the combine. So I know him, and there's another kid that are being touted as the top Steelers in the draft. So I know some people are thinking the Steelers are going to go that way, but I did see an article, man, something similar that we all talked about here already, saying that perhaps the Steelers center is already on the roster. You know, we can't forget a guy like Nate Herbig. He has center, he has some background at center. I don't know how much, but he's a very versatile guy. But the only reason why I thought about it is because his stature, his physical stature and how big he is, and the fact that he's center capable. It makes me wonder if the Steelers already have a plan for center, or are they going to draft a center? And another thing that I'm going to talk about here in a moment makes me think that they do have their option to potentially seek a center in the draft if they do what we're hearing as well with other reports in terms of their free agency targets. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle that situation, man. I say this. This is what I legitimately feel like with any position. If you have a guy on the roster that's capable of getting it done, like seriously, not even a project. If you have someone on your current roster that you think can get it done, I'm always in favor of that as you go into free agency and as you go into the draft, because then it frees up more positions. Because think about all of the positions that the Steelers really need to look for draft picks or free agent targets. We know center is top on the list. We know strong safety is tops on the list. We know cornerbacks is tops on the list. Inside linebacker is tops on the list. So as many of these guys that you could take care of before going to free agency, before going into the draft, you playing with house money. So I'm not going to say what the right move is or isn't. I would say what I would prefer. If the Steelers do feel like a guy like Nate Herbig or maybe another guy on the roster, but I'm going to just use Herbig as my example. If they feel like big boy Herbig can get the job done and legitimately get the job done, I would be cool with that, because then it opens up the opportunity of other said players at other positions of need. Because I feel like you're not going to fill all of these holes in the draft or in free agency. So as many that you can plug already, cool. Now, some people might say, well, if they felt like Herbig could play center, why allow Mason Cole to continue to play like he did throughout the season? Y'all know how that goes. Y'all know how the hierarchy and pecking order usually goes in Pittsburgh. They were going to allow Mason Cole to continue to start. He was the starter. You don't have to do a crazy switch up during the middle point of the season and, trying to figure out what you're doing at quarterback. It just would have been a little too much, right, to make a switch at that point, and then they, of course, decided to part ways with Mason Cole. So like I said, did they have that in mind when they acquired a guy like Herbig, that he was versatile and he had some center in his background? So we'll see. I have no way of knowing. This is just pure speculation, and I wanted to ask that question to you guys. Do you think that the guy might already be on the roster? And like I said, I have no idea or no actual visual evidence to say that Nate Herbig can play the position. It's just that the Steelers mentioned that. And I say, if he can do it, let him do it. I would prefer that. And then we can use free agency in the draft for other positions. So that's my quick take on the starting position. Now, excuse me. Next thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about free agent targets. So, it's been reported, and again, these are all reports and speculation, and I want to remind you guys, man, because I've had some talks with some Steelers fans. I've even had some talks with father-in-law Leonard Langley, who's probably here in the chat. And, a lot of times we get too overzealous about our team, or we think everything is going to happen and we're going to acquire every player. And not just that, we start to believe these reports too much. That's a big problem. I would just say in the NFL fan base, period. But, I'm talking about us, the Steeler Nation, the Steeler Nation. It's a big problem that we have in Steeler Nation. A lot of you guys believe every report. Like y'all believe it like it's the gospel. They're just reports. There's two things to always keep in mind with reports. Number one, well, three things. Number one, who's doing the reporting? Whether they're credible or not, who's doing the reporting matters. Number two, it's just a report. It is not factual until it is official and it's been stamped by the real source, being the team or player or whoever else is really a part of this situation, right? So who's reporting it? The fact that we can't confirm it to be a fact, that's number two. And number three, just because it's reported, we don't know the logistics. So you can't assume that the Steelers did or didn't, because a lot of times what happens when you hear these reports, and let's say the report doesn't happen, what we do as a fan base is we say, see, the Steelers ain't even tried. They didn't even want to do this. They don't like we don't know. So those are the things you always have to consider. So what I like to do with reports and, rumors and things like that, I like to talk about the what ifs. What if this is true? How do I feel about that? So again, there's reports out there that the Steelers will target starting inside linebackers and cornerbacks. That is being reported, that the Steelers are looking to go into free agency, and they will be targeting guys who will be able to start at inside linebacker and start at the cornerback position. Bravo, if that's true. Let me explain to you why I would love that to happen. Kind of similar to what I just said about Nate Herbig. But now we've gotten to free agency, and if we can address those positions in free agency, sky's the limit in the draft. Because then, once again, the best way to go into the draft is without having significant holes in your roster. Teams that can go in their draft with legitimate depth or legitimate second-hand plans, if you will, plan Bs, if you will. Teams that can go into the draft like that, you playing with house money, baby. House money. And boy, would I love the Steelers and Omar Khan and this official draft for Omar Khan. Boy, would I love him to go in there with house money, because he already has shown us that he's willing to wheel and deal. So I would love for that to happen. There's a couple guys out there, I'm not going to pull up the names, but there's a couple positions, corner and inside linebacker, who are starter capable pieces that I would bring them on in. And if you can get it done, once again, it opens up the draft, particularly for the Steelers to go offensive line, to potentially go after other positions like safety and things of that nature, wide receiver even, and I will talk about that in a moment. But I think the kid Baker, the inside backer for Miami, is being reported now that he is going to hit the market. So guys like that, man, listen, if that is the case, great. Let's go target guys who are going to start. And that's not a stretch, right? Is that a stretch? No. And the reason why I say this report is probably more, you can kind of lean on what happened last season to say, okay, that could be true. Because what happened? The Steelers targeted inside linebackers as they had to. Those guys started. Matter of fact, all three of them played. Right? The Steelers went and got Patrick Peterson. He ended up having to start early on, too. Started the season at corner. So that report isn't far-fetched. And actually, I would say that report is probably pretty simple to report, because that's pretty obvious. But again, I'm just speaking on the possibility, if it happens. I'm really happy about that, because again, we march into free agency, get those guys, and then we head into the draft with house money. And now we can start shooting at the guys that we really want, plucking them off. Snipers in the back of the draft, like, you know what I mean? Going to get that BPA. That's what I would like, if I could have it my way. But of course, the Steelers organization is not Burger King, so I can't have it my way. Moving on to the next topic, stringing these topics together, let's talk about Dionte Johnson and the possibility of a trade and how I would feel about that. Now listen, let me take a sip of water on this one really quick. Some of you people are going to say, yes, let's trade him right now. Some of you guys are going to say no. I won't say I disagree with either side. I will say this. Before we start trading people away, let's consider a few things. If the Steelers, I'm going to ask y'all a question. I know the answer that y'all are going to give me, but I'm going to even explain your answer to you. Like that riddle, right? If the Pittsburgh Steelers, and don't be shy, put it in the chat. If the Pittsburgh Steelers decide to trade Dionte Johnson, who would you like to become the number one receiver on the squad? Based on what you know today. Who would be your first choice to be the number one, the X, if the Steelers are able to trade Dionte Johnson? Don't be shy. Put your thoughts in the comments because I'm going to respond to your thoughts and tell you why who you're thinking and what you're thinking might not necessarily work. Let's see. Already got 4 people saying exactly what I thought y'all would say. George Pickens. Noob says, I do not want to trade Dionte. Malvo says no one. Shields also says George Pickens. MT Mooch says, GP is not a number one, just like Juju wasn't the number one when AB was gone. I want to respond to MT Mooch there. I'm not going to say that GP is a definite number one, but what I will say is it would be totally different than Juju. George Pickens shows the skill to be a number one. Got to improve that route tree, though. So that's the hesitation. We do not have a receiver on the roster that runs the routes like Dionte Johnson. We just don't. George Pickens would have to get better at his separation and his route running. Now, as far as being your main target, being your A.J. Brown, if you will, and I use him as an example because of how he played in Tennessee with Smith, but also how he plays in Philly. A.J. Brown is really that go up and get it guy. The DK Metcalf type. That to me, and I'm not comparing the players, to me, that's what George Pickens is today. Big, strong, fast, freakish athlete. I mean, y'all already know what I say about how that boy catches the ball. One of the best pure hands catchers I have seen, period. The way he makes it look so easy. But in order to be a number one receiver, in my opinion, you have to have everything. You have to have outstanding route running. You have to be able to beat man and get separation. You have to be able to create separation. You have to be able to be a phenomenal route runner. Look at most of the number ones. And I'm not talking about the A.J. Brown and Metcalf type where you just throw it. If we want that to be the number one, we could get that out of George Pickens. But people always talk about AB. In order to be AB, you got to be like Dionte Johnson. Dionte Johnson can do AB-like things in terms of that route. Getting open. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on what type of number one receiver you want. That would determine whether or not George Pickens fits that void. Another reason why I would be hesitant to trade Dionte Johnson is who's the leader. You could argue both sides there. Dionte Johnson also last year didn't show the best leadership himself. True fact. However, imagine the team with just George Pickens being the lead, because he would then become the de facto veteran, right? Considering what happens with Allen Robinson. And there's another report out there that the Steelers are in talks with Allen Robinson, trying to keep him but retain him at a lower cost. I believe I didn't even realize this. He's due about $10 million this year. So obviously the Steelers are going to say, hey, buddy, let's talk. But let's just assume Allen Robinson walks. Dionte Johnson is traded. Now George Pickens is your lead dog in the locker room. at wide receiver. How would that work out for you? Even though I'm still in favor of George Pickens, I'm hoping that the kid can get it together, get this mentality together, stop showing so much emotion negatively on the field, off the field. I still believe in George Pickens because I remember y'all wanted to trade that boy too. A lot of y'all, I'm pointing the finger. A lot of y'all wanted to trade George Pickens too. And then when he had that ridiculous game against the Bengals with Mason Rudolph, now everybody's back on his, Anna. Y'all back. I'm just saying. I can even point the finger at me, even though I don't really do it. It's mostly y'all, but we fickle. We a fickle fan base, boy. We are a Janet Jackson of the early 80s or 90s, whenever that was, or what have you done for me lately fan base. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. 1 week we want to trade you, the next week we want to praise you. That's how y'all do. But, hey, that's how it goes. That's who we are. Here we go, Steelers. That's who we are. Accept it. So that would be my only hesitation. Also, Dionte Johnson is in his last year of his contract, so could be a reason why the Steelers, if they get somebody to bite, they trade him. Because are they considering paying him again? And there's a whole lot of wide receivers in the draft. But again, it's tricky, guys, because again, keep these eyeballs. Keep them eyeballs very close to free agency and see what happens. Because I think the Steelers got to get a receiver in the draft. And if Dionte Johnson is gone, we looking at free agency and draft maybe. But I feel like even if the wide receiver core stays intact, we need another one. We absolutely do. We can't go another draft without drafting a wide receiver. That's what the Steelers do. And look at how successful they have been when they do it. So we'll see. Very last topic, man, before I get to the phone calls. Man, I'm making great time here. The main topic of the evening. Y'all know I have been back and forth with this quarterback situation. I'm going to be very brief with this because it's a lot I could say. But from top to bottom, listen, now Russell Wilson has been informed that he'll be released. If Russell Wilson wants to come in for a vet minimum or whatever number fits for the Steelers, I'm not opposed to that. The only thing is, though, if they do that, keep in mind, good people, if they do that, that means that Kenny Pickett has no shot to start. The reason why I say that is I do not think of Russell Wilson at his caliber and his career accolades. I don't think he's coming to anybody's team to sit. So if the Steelers actually were to do that, that says a lot about Kenny Pickett, and you can almost rest assured that Kenny Pickett will be out the door when time comes. I personally don't think they're going to bring in a guy like Wilson or Cousins or anybody like that because I wholeheartedly believe AR2 and Mike Tomlin when they say that Kenny Pickett will be given a chance in his third year to prove himself with the new OC. If there's not anything else I believe that the two of them said in these off-season press conferences, that is the one that I definitely believe. I absolutely believe that. Now, they could fool us and pull a fast one, and I'll be open to the fast one. But I absolutely believe that Kenny Pickett is going to be given a chance to at least compete, and that's where Justin Fields comes into play. And by the way, and some of you guys have told me I should say this during the show, and y'all know I'm funny about this, but y'all be sending me messages say, hey, man, you do such a great job and let people know that they can donate. Okay, so quote unquote, guys, if you feel so kindly to do so, I'm letting you know that you do have the option to donate to the show here on YouTube or on Cash App or on PayPal. That information is in the description. There you go. But anyway, Let me tell you why Justin Fields could make sense. And I'm just my wacky, logical brain thinking. One, Kenny Pickett is going into his third season. Pittsburgh Steelers generally like to re-sign players after that third season, going into the last season of their current contract, which we know Kenny Pickett would be on 4 years, which is a rookie contract. They have the option to do fifth-year option if they want. But let's just say they're going to, all right, we're going to look to sign him next year if he proves himself. Justin Fields is going into the last year of his contract. He's ended his third. He's going into his fourth. There has to be a decision made on the fifth-year option. But let's say that the Steelers, they know they have to pay a quarterback in the next year or two. That's already determined. It's either going to be Kenny Pickett or a young veteran. Considering, let's just say they're not considering going back to the draft. This is just scenario of how it could make sense. Let's say they say to themselves, we know we have to pay somebody within the next year or two. You trade for Justin Fields and say you give up a second. Some people saying some people are saying he might not draw no more than a third. Okay. But say you get it done, even if it's a second. What do you get? You get Justin Fields, who's in the last year of his rookie contract, which cap hit this year is $6 million or so, $6 million and something, right? You don't have to. You could definitely forego that fifth-year option. And you could say, we're going to take this $6 million and we're going to let you compete for the starting job, because also $6 million doesn't kill us as a backup. So let's say Kenny Pickett still wins the job, or Kenny Pickett is put out there first. Paying $6 million for the backup ain't bad. Follow me. So then you have the option at the end of this season to say, man, Kenny Pickett really showed up. He did his thing. I think we're going to ride with him. We're not quite ready to do that big contract. Let's throw that fifth-year option on him. And if he does great in that too, we'll work a deal. If he doesn't, Justin Fields starts. You're paying him $6 million to be a starting quarterback in 2024, and he blows your doors off. Now you negotiate a contract with him. And if that doesn't work, guess who you still got on contract? Yeah, Kenny Pickett. So that's where I see that it could make sense. This is not me advocating for it. Let me make sure y'all understand that. I'm not advocating for that. I told y'all I am a fan that will support whatever the organization does once it happens. There's a lot of things that the organization does or doesn't do that I'm like, I didn't really like that. But once it's all said and done, I support it and get behind it and hope for the best. Meaning, if and only if. Hold on. Time out. We got a donation. Appreciate that. Round of applause to my good buddy Rel Fax for the donation. Rel Fax says they'll bring back Mason or sign Tannehill because of his relationship with Arthur Smith and draft a rookie quarterback late in the draft to round out the quarterback room. KB must win the winning starting job or he's done, in my opinion. Yes, I'm fully agree with that as far as that part. At any rate, Kenny Pickett has to earn the starting position, in my opinion. You got to go out there and earn that money, bro. You have to, because in year 3, there's really no excuse. You would expect that Arthur Smith's scheme is going to put you in the best position. But you need competition. You need somebody to come in and perform like Mason Rudolph did in them last few games to make you be like this. Woof. Ooh, that seat hot. Oh, woo, that seat is hot. He need that. What he don't need is this. Chilling in a cool seat And when you do that, that's how you answer questions like when the reporter said, "Hey, did you learn anything?" Well, Mason Rudolph, no, awfully dismissive. In your feelings, are we? You need that seat to scorch it. He need that. When somebody back here looking over that shoulder, oh yeah, you do your best work. That's what he needs. Competition breeds excellence, baby. So that's my little scenario of how it could make sense if the Steelers actually do it. That would be my rationale. I would have no idea what they're thinking. I'm only giving you the scenario. If they traded for Fields, I would come back and say, well, this is how it actually makes sense. And I would literally repeat what I just said. I could see that scenario playing out if they were to do that. Because it's not in the quarterback world, it wouldn't cost you a lot. You understand what I'm saying? Paying $6 million for a year. And if that guy blows up, then you do all you can to make him your franchise guy. Or if the other guy still wins the job, again, $6 million still isn't bad for a backup, and you let him walk, but then now you have the option to sign Kenny, or if you want to give him a little more time, you want to see him do it twice, you put the 5th year on him. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But at any rate, again, like I said, free agency will tell us a lot, man. If they do go in and pick up the things that I mentioned a little earlier, if they pick up the starting cornerback, starting inside backer, then I think it definitely opens the draft for a center, for another offensive tackle, anything you want to do offensively. It's rumors, and I heard Alex Kazor say that the Steelers met with 6 or 7 of the top tier wide receivers that would be first round guys. So what if they pull a fast one and do that? And then again, that Dionte Johnson trade talk is in the works then. So this is a wonderful time of the year. Finally, man, February dragged. Now we're getting close to free agency and the combine just happened. So we got a little stuff to talk about before we go into that lull period again. But exciting stuff, man. I look forward to seeing what the Steelers are going to do in free agency. So let's get to the phone calls, man. We're at 33 minutes. Perfect time, man, because I told you guys, I'm not drawing these shows out too long no more, man. We get in, we get out, especially in the off season. We got 3 calls in the queue. Y'all know the routine. Make them snappy so I don't have to cut you. Let me turn up my speakers. All right. And some of you guys, somebody left a comment last week saying that the callers sounded low and muffled. So y'all let me know once I bring them on if you're making sure you guys can hear them okay. So first up in the queue, man, area code 651. Hold on. We got another donation. Round of applause to Lee Sharp. I appreciate that round of applause. Thank you. Appreciate that, Lee Sharp. He says, Kenny does come off like he's entitled to be the starter. I hope the kid gets it together, but we can't wait too long for a change. Man, and I couldn't agree with you more. Sorry, I'm not looking right at you guys, man. I'm making sure that the browser is playing through the right source, because maybe that was the reason why it was low if it was low last week, but still answering your question. Yeah, man. Like I said, I like the kid's moxie. I like that he's a little confident. I just don't like some of it comes off a little, a little dismissive at times. Like, you definitely don't answer the question like that. You put on your professionalism hat and answer that question and give kudos to the backup while still saying, I want to be out there. That's how you handle that. You can't just say, no, I ain't learned nothing. Come on, man. Be smart. Yeah, man, I learned, I learned a lot, just being in my second year, man. I have a great relationship with Mason Rudolph. I think he handled himself very well, man. And, just kind of how he managed the game, it's kind of what I was starting to do before I got injured before the Bengals game. So I definitely learned, just settle down a little. Like, dog, there's easy ways to say that without poo-pooing all over Mason Rudolph. You just, no, I ain't learned nothing. Come on, man. Cut it out. All right, man. Area code 651. And again, guys, let me know if y'all can't hear the caller. What you got for us, 651?
Hey, what's up?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Not much, man. It's been a while since I've been to the show, so I'm kind of excited today. Man, I agree with you on bringing up the field. You know, kids supposed to be a dog, right?
Yeah.
Get me. Go get your job. You know, I'm saying it feels like that baby and it's like, even I go back to that text from thing is you can't answer questions anymore because you got bitch. You said all the right things, you got confidence. Like, is that the type of quarterback you want? You know, Field. I gotta say, some of the hits I saw this man take early in the season, I really should stop putting those games on TV because I thought he was gonna die. I really thought something was gonna happen to him, man. It was bad. And to see him not ball up and quit on the season and get up and keep fighting and have a pretty decent end of the season, that's why I want somebody like that. I'm not saying I gotta have him, but I want a quarterback like that that's gonna ride. So, I mean, between that and I feel like this is the way these last 2 days have gone in free agency already, like with people becoming available, this is the perfect free agency for the Steelers. We got plenty of linebackers out there, plenty of young corners that didn't work out where they were, but they're young, like 25, 26, 24, a lot of them. So I feel like we grabbed that center from Tennessee who already knows the offense. He can move, too. That guy can move. He can get on the second level easy. I can see that happening and not drafting a center so early, but that's all I got, sis.
Man, thanks for the call. And let me apologize to the you guys, the audience. That was on me. I forgot I had muted you guys. Remember when I muted you before when I was setting up Blog Talk? And silly me, I didn't go back and unmute it on the software. But you guys did say y'all were able to hear the caller later on. Some of you guys said you heard a small echo, and that's what I needed to know as well. So I know to mute myself because I'm playing it out of the speakers. But for the most part, y'all were able to hear him and let me know on the next call. But yeah, I fully agree with what 651 was saying. He was basically just saying he agreed with the Justin Fields scenario. You know, bring a guy in there. He said, hey, Kenny's supposed to be a dog, right? Let him compete. Let him compete. And he liked the way that Justin Fields, you know, would take on hits and things like that. And he was talking about the center from Tennessee that can move. So, you know, if we're able to maybe get a guy like that in free agency. So largely he just agreed with the point about Justin Fields. And that's all I'm saying, guys. Look, may the best man win. You know, I think sometimes when some people feel like when I say these things or when other people say things is that we are completely dismissing Kenny Pickett. I'm not. I for one, hope Kenny Pickett works out. I hope the Steelers have found a franchise quarterback and they don't have to go keep looking. But Kenny simply hasn't shown that yet. So we need somebody to bring that out of him or show that he just won't have it even when somebody is tapping on his shoulder. So that's all I got. All right, let's move on to the next one, guys. Area code 318. What you got for us?
Whoa, what's up, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, I'm gonna try to make this quick as possible. I usually be quick, but arguing with a biased Steelers fan is like arguing with a Cowboy fan, man. Yeah, I understand. You know, Justin Fields. Yeah, you know he's an athlete. He has you know potential and you know all the intangibles. But I was telling him, man, we got other holes, man. Justin Fields is not gonna just flat out fix our problems. Like I said, we need an O-line. We definitely need a safety. We need some middle linebackers, bro. And it man, arguing with him, bro, it went left, man. It went from, man, we should have kept Josh Dobbs. I'm like, bro, Josh Dobbs is not good. It's like, man, they benched him because he's black. I'm like, I hate to bring race up, man. I'm the type of guy, it's just like, bro, if you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. Josh Dobbs not it, man. Then he was talking about Malik Willis. I'm like, bro, you just saying stuff now, man. And I'm trying to keep it PG. Y'all. It went left, bro. Arguing with a biased Steelers fan is like talking to a wall, man. And like I said, we do get Justin Fields, that's cool. But I feel like, man, we need a center, we need a right tackle, and a right guard. That's all I got.
Appreciate you calling. I'm with you, man. I do it all the time. And sometimes our lovely fan base just get irrational sometimes. Like, listen, I had the same conversation during the season when Dobbs was winning a few games. Oh, I was hearing it. Man, see, we should have kept Dobbs. And I remember when nobody wanted Dobbs, not to be the starter. Ain't too many people say that. And here's the funny thing. I don't know who you were arguing with. Shout outs to him, but I got to poke a little bit of fun. So he's telling us that Josh Dobbs was benched by a black head coach because he's black. Solve that riddle. Like you said, it ain't about race, man, but that right there is funny. Josh Dobbs got benched because he was black. Okay. Or maybe he's talking about other teams and not us. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but if he was talking about the Steelers, that's hilarious. But Josh Dobbs was never a starter for us, so maybe he's talking about somebody else. But that don't really fly, my man. It's plenty of minority quarterbacks in the NFL, so you can't pull that one, brother. Let's move on. Next call, man. Area code 330. What you got for us?
Yo, what up, man? Now, I heard a few of my Steeler brothers and sisters saying that we should keep Allen Robinson, the wide receiver, and keep Grandpa PP. I feel that if we can restructure the contracts to where there are less money, okay, we keep them around because they're great veterans. If not, we need to let them go for how they played last year. These cats are putting $12 million or more, I can't remember the exact number, against the salary cap that we could go and get 4 players for the price of 2. What you think?
Man, first of all, thanks for your call. I fully agree with you, man. Well, I'll say this. Allen Robinson at a cheaper cost, I don't mind bringing him back because of the veteran leadership. And I think he still could be a possession receiver if we include him. Maybe, Arthur Smith will get more out of him because he, being a bigger body and he helps with blocking and things of that nature. Patrick Peterson is a little more iffy for me because, again, Patrick Peterson told us himself when we signed him, he's not 24 anymore, 25, 26. He can't run the same way. We saw it when he was playing corner. Now, when they moved him to the slot, had better success because he has this. He's a Hall of Famer. He has the smarts. Played a little bit better for us at safety. And I've heard some people say, well, we could keep him at safety. Well, only question mark I have there is Patrick Peterson was playing post safety when Minkah was out. I don't want them keeping Minkah close to the line of scrimmage, and I'm always getting on him about that because if you have him and Patrick Peterson out there, I would assume Minkah would end up playing the pseudo strong safety spot. It ain't gonna be Patrick Peterson. And I never want to take Minkah out of the post ever. He is the best ball hawk or best center fielder we have on the team. Why do we keep taking him out of the post, out of the center field? Why do we blitz him and not the other safety? Come on, Terrell Austin. Come on, Mike T. I know our defense has been relatively decent statistically last couple of years, but come on now. Stop doing that. But yeah, that would be my only thing to that 330. I believe that's Daron. That would be my only thing, Daron, man. I'm with you there. If we had to hold on to one of them, I would more so prefer Robinson because we definitely need some leadership in that wide receiver room. And I think maybe we can get a little more out of him than perhaps what Patrick Peterson gives you defensively 1 year after being 33 years old. But I appreciate it, man. All right, we got one more call, man. Area code 412. We always appreciate those local Pittsburgh area folk. 412, what you got for us?
What's good, bro? No.
Yes, sir.
y'all cooking tonight, man. I ain't really got much. Everything y'all saying, I'm like, dang, y'all all in my head. But me personally, bro, I don't want to trade Dionte. If they rolling with Pickett, I want all the weapons we could get. I don't know if they trying to replace Dionte, looking at them receivers, or Kelvin Austin. Because if Kelvin Austin played better, like he showed me more, I would be 100% cool with DJ getting traded. Like, no problem. But I'm not going to set that back and rely on the rookie who I don't know, who's not proven. You know what I mean? DJ's proven, whether people like him or not. You know what I mean? So that's all I really got, bro.
My man, Nob, I appreciate you calling. And yeah, I agree with you, man, in the chat. And you just said it again in the call. I'm with you, man. I don't know if I really gave my opinion. I'm with you. Don't trade him, man. I mean, if it's a money thing, right? I get it. If you feel like you could get the same type of production sort of with someone else, I get it. My only concern, again, is Dionte Johnson, not just for our team. I think he's one of the best in the league. Yes, I said it. One of the best in the league at route running and creating separation. We need that, especially with Kenneth Pickett still trying to work with him, where we're going to need Dionte to win some situations. He's the only veteran, outside of Allen Robinson. I'm just saying, to me, I would think it's more growing pains without him than it is with him. Even though some of you guys don't like Dionte, go back even in this season and look at some of the plays he made. Dionte has made some saving plays. He saved us on that third down. Ain't really had too many drops last year either. And he finally got back in the end zone. So I'm just saying, man, that would be my preference, but I'm not opposed to a trade if they do it, if we get the right compensation. Again, once they do whatever they're doing, I'm going to rock with it and support it and see how it works. But if you ask me, I would rather not just straight up trade Dionte because the guys, they're still young. And like Nob said, Calvin Austin, I mean, and no shade to him, but we got to get him more involved. Because right now I have no confidence in that he could just be a piece for us. I don't have the confidence in that because we haven't seen it. And again, part of that is probably he hadn't been schemed up. So there you have it. But looks like we do have another donation, man. I appreciate that. My good buddy, Wide Diggy. It looks like I missed the notification, but I do see it in the chat. So round of applause. Appreciate that, Diggy. See, why, Diggy, why you got to come in here and spoil the mood like that? Boy, that's sad. He says, not so fun fact. T.J. Watt has more sacks in the last 2 years than the Steelers have touchdown passes. Mind you, T.J. missed 7 games in that stretch. That's how I feel about that. Wow. Wowzers. And it's funny because you watch fans and even you watch the local media argue for or against Kenny Pickett, and it's always interesting that the ones that argue for him, they lean on it. He's 14-10. He's above 500 as a starter. Okay. But then when you talk about his statistics, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has, I could be wrong here. Somebody fact check this, but I think he is 13-13. I think he has 13 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Am I right or wrong with that? It's somewhere like that. And that's just, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Holy moly. That's bad, bro. That's bad. Yeah, and I agree with Kenyon. We will definitely discuss that. And I think another steel table will hit the fan, guys, right around free agency time. And we'll definitely discuss that here Because again, listening to shout outs to my good people at Steelers Depot, they were saying that, the Steelers, you would think that the trade would happen before the 16th of March because, around that time is key because then there's roster bonuses and things like that. And apparently if you trade Dionte Johnson after that, it's not like you could trade the bonus. The bonus is like a guarantee that's paid then. So you would think if they were going to trade him, they would do it before the bonus kicks in. So that's a date to look out for, as well as that's when, free agency hits right around that same time. So somebody said I went out. Can y'all hear me now? Y'all said I went out. Hold on, let me check, make sure the audio is still firing. Can y'all hear me? Let's make sure y'all can hear me before I keep talking. All right, y'all said I'm good. All right, cool. So yeah, man, let's spend the last few minutes here, man. Fire away, guys. We'll give a few minutes. What do y'all have in the chat? Real Fact says he's got a lot to prove. Again, KP must win the starting job in training camp. No excuses. I don't care who we bring in. Third year, it's time to put up or shut up, or else we go QB in 2025. I'm with you. That's one thing that you can't refute is it's time to put up or shut up. That is a facto. What up, JJ? My man JJ Walker says trading DJ at this moment is setting your offense back. There's definitely great merit to that. I'm with you there. It does. Because again, you would think, right? So here's the thing. Regardless of, let's say the Steelers go and draft the top-notch receiver, I still think if there's no Dionte Johnson, you got to go with GP as your number one, right? I don't think you put the rookie out there right away, even if it's a guy like, even if it's my man, even if it's a Marvin Harrison type of dude. Or that other dude, what's his name? Rome, whatever. I still think them dudes don't come right in and be your ex receiver right away. But I don't know. So I do kind of agree with what JJ is saying there. What's up, Debbie? Everybody make sure you say hello to Debbie, man. I saw Sade in here as well, man. Make sure y'all say hello to the lovely ladies. Y'all already know we lay out the red carpet for our wonderful lady listeners, man. And just so everyone knows, in case you are a new viewer, a female yourself, I'm not doing that. It's not a sexist thing, so I don't want it to seem like I'm just calling you out because you're a lady. But in this form, I do that because often men don't always respect the opinion of ladies in this realm. And I'm here to tell you that the ladies over here, they know they Steelers and they know they Steeler talk and they do an excellent job. And again, Debbie came on with me in Kenya not too far back. Ladies, Lanisha, Sade, Destiny, if you out there, when y'all coming back to do y'all own still table, we loved it. Come on, we need y'all come on back now. How you say that kid's name? Is it Rome? Is it Adunze? Is that how he said? Because with these spellings, it's always an A or a zoo or something at the end. Am I saying the kid's name right? No disrespect. Mark Cunningham says Khan is not going to trade DJ without getting a vet receiver in his place. That's true. So we got to look at that too, Mark. You would assume if they trade him that they're going to have to get a couple receivers one way or another. And you would expect, yes, one being a veteran, one being drafted. I'm with you there. Walter says the organization has a talent for identifying wideouts. They absolutely do. That's why I would expect them to definitely draft a receiver at some point this season, because I don't believe we took a receiver last year. I think GP was the last one. Y'all saying Rome is special. I saw him in the combine. It was pretty good. Yeah, that dude is pretty nice, man. No question. Yo, who was that offensive lineman they said that did 39 reps on the bench? Good Lord. 39 reps. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I don't know how often some of you guys may or may not go to the gym. I don't know what type of shape everybody is in. You know, I don't know everybody's age, and maybe you back in the day you were more of a gym guy and whenever you did it. But I want y'all to realize 225 pounds by definition is not heavy, at least not for me. I can bench that no problem, right? But 39 times? Fam, I want y'all to understand how crazy that is. 39 times? Like I said, a decent amount of y'all might be able to bench 225, couple reps, boom, boom, boom. You know, probably might not be your max, right? But 39 times? I have no word. That's dog, fam. Come on, bro. That's crazy. That is all I'm gonna say. Who was it? Cooper Dijon. Okay, what's he play? Is he a center or a guard or what? He country strong. Yeah, bruh, that is crazy. Like, I could not believe that. Real Fact says 10 for me. That's what I'm saying. Bruh, I just hope. And again, some people that have never really lifted weights, so they don't really understand that. Oh, okay, y'all. I was talking about the wrong guy. Y'all gave me so many names. I don't know who y'all talking about. Y'all says Cooper. Somebody says Bo Limmer. Now let me tell you something. Why Diggy? That's probably the guy, cause that sound like a big old country boy, one of them cornbread eating boys, like big country fed Bo. Bo sound like somebody that can lift 225 pounds 39 times. Big Bo. Okay, y'all said the Cooper kid is a DB. I told y'all I don't be knowing all of these college players to tell Kenyon, tell me, go check this list of people out. Then I come back and give y'all my evaluation. Yeah, Bo Limmer. That sound like a big country boy who ain't had nothing else to do but lift trees in the backyard. Sure, I'll move that, Dad. He's just moving tree trunks. But all right, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, Verducci, what up, man? He said, Sim, my cousin once did 27 reps of 275 on the bench, and in weightlifting competition, he came in second place. Wait a minute. That's just as impressive, bro. 27 reps of 275. Oh my Lord. Yeah, I want guys like that on that O-line. I want a dude like that to pull and come around that corner. And he one-on-one with that cornerback. Woo! That sounds like a touchdown for whoever's running the ball. But all right, man, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Wrap this thing up, man. Listen, again, I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. If you like what you saw tonight, show your love and hit the like button. But don't just do that. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. And last but not least, once you are a subscriber, make sure you turn on that notification bell. How else will you know that I'm streaming or I have uploaded a video? Tell me, how else would you know? Outside of that, y'all know what I'm going to do. I'm going to wish y'all a good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. God bless. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like always, I appreciate y'all checking out Terrible Towel Tuesday, and stay on the lookout for videos uploaded here and there throughout the week, especially if there's something to really talk about. All right, until next time, peace.